Good afternoon, Jan.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Michael.
it's not quite evening there. It feels like evening here. Well, okay, the sun is up now, but
Okay, now. Oh, here it's okay. It's 20 degrees Celsius. The sun is back. Yesterday we had a strong wind here,
oh,
but
yeah, it's definitely
it's,
starting to cool down here as well.
mm,
But
so
yeah,
no, I
excellent.
was I was still a little bit confused about the because we are already in winter time
Mm-hmm.
now.
Oh my.
So this morning I thought so. It's not 3 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. And then later on I say, no, it's not 4 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
must it must be a mad system.
Uh huh. Yeah. It seems adding and subtracting one is one of the hardest problems. Well, I guess that is one of the hard problems in computer science. Is off by one error, but
Hmm? No, what helped me to solve it is I say, okay, in the morning, if I don't change my clock, I see that, but in fact, that's the time. I see, for example, 8 o'clock, but in reality, it is 7 o'clock. In that way, I can reason it out.
yeah, I always have to go to Google and say, "What's the current daytime offset?" Oh, -5, -6. I don't know.
I wonder how they do it with plane connections.
Hmm.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because imagine they say a plane leaves here in France at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It flies to the east coast. So now it will arrive 1 hour later if it takes off at the same local time.
Yeah.
Then perhaps in the east coast there is another plane which makes the connection for people who go to the west coast. But so that plane is still at the same time in your local time because
Yeah.
you guys haven't changed yet. So the plane is gone by the time we arrive there.
Yeah. I have noticed. Yeah, I have noticed when I'm going between time zones that the
Mm,
departure time is in the departure time zone, the arrival time is in the arrival time zone, and so I
mm,
imagine that they also um, uh, uh, include the local daylight saving change. So so yeah, if this
yeah, but
time zone hasn't changed yet, it's still going to be off by an hour,
mm,
and that's just the way that it's represented on the ticket and on the user interface. But I
mm.
think behind the scenes it's all UTC.
Yeah, but I think the scheduling itself must probably in UTC.
Yeah.
So the planes, a plane that took off, for example, at 3 p.m. last week, will now take off at 2 p.m. local time.
Mm-hmm.
So in UTC, it's the same. So it will arrive in UTC at the same moment, and so the delay between an arrival plane and the connecting flight will stay the same. I guess they do it
Yeah.
that way because otherwise it's not possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. That's. Um,
Because if next week or the week after you will change your
uh-huh.
clock, so the whole thing will. Yeah. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's just a projection layer on top of UTC.
Hmm?
That's then
Hmm?
distinct per location. Yeah.
Let's look at the simple things.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, this kind of reasoning was the reason that I made that hard decision in Janaga when you are serializing a date. It's always going to convert it to UTC and serialize it that way. It's like you don't get
Hmm?
a choice.
Look, let me share something. Do you see that, Michael?
Let's
That's
see.
cursor.
Let me. There we are. Yeah.
That's
There's
cursor.
cursor.
So then I say, okay, let's install the extensions, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't find the C# def extension. So I said, okay, now cursor is clever. So I asked a question here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, let's ask cursor, which extension do I need to run C# programs?
Uh-huh.
And it said, to run C# programs, you need the C# dev kit extension for
In
Visual
Visual
Studio
Studio
Code.
Code, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so okay.
I can see where this is
I
going.
looked up my extensions. I found a lot of things, but not what I was looking for.
Not the C# dev
Looked
extensions, no.
looked on the internet, then people say, yeah, there is one way, that's to load an alt extension,
Mm-hmm.
because now Microsoft blocked everything.
Yep.
Not exactly what I want to do, load alt extensions.
No. Definitely not.
So then, just an hour ago, I say, okay, never mind. Um, there was a link showing up who said I can load the same extensions as your VS Code, which is installed on the machine. So I
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, go ahead. So I got this here installed. .NET install tool, C#, yeah, the graphics, and Jupyter. No Polynot, no polyglot notebooks,
Yep.
and no real C#,
Yeah.
apart from this base language. And I say, okay, another ID. Ask the my helper, can you install the extensions for me? So he thought for a second, and then he said, I'll check if the VS Code command line interface is available. So I gave permission to check that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, okay, run this code. And then I say, oh, hold and wait. Let's see what a real person thinks about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything unsafe there, but it's going to fail for exactly the same reasons that everything else did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the best compromise to...
Yeah. Yeah, the best compromise is to run Visual Studio and Cursor side by side.
Yeah, to use TypeScript and not C#.
Yeah, the TypeScript experience is pretty awesome. But yeah, actually, Cursor does just fine with C#. In fact, I think it would do really well with WPF. Yeah, it's just that you don't get the the full editor experience, and and all the all the debugger support and everything. And so yeah, for that you would want to switch over to proper Visual Studio. The funny thing about
here.
this, yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm not sure that there's really anything more that can happen in this. Well, actually, there is one thing that I'd like to do in this conversation. Can you switch to ask mode and then ask what IDE it's running in? Okay, so it does know that it's running in Cursor. All right. Yeah. Okay. I thought that we would see something different there. So I am surprised by that result. So it was my understanding that all of that previous conversation was with the mistaken belief that it was actually running inside of Visual Studio Code. So yeah, we can probably get a little bit more help out of it if we tell it to search the web to find any solutions. And in fact, if you hit the @ symbol, there's an extra web tab that you can put in there, and that explicitly puts the web tool into context.
Browser here?
Not quite browser, but if you keep scrolling down, there's one that's called web. You should be able to.
Doesn't want to scroll.
Yeah.
No,
With,
it doesn't want to scroll down.
well, then just type a W and see if it pops up.
W.
Okay.
Perhaps I didn't
No, that's
set it up the way it should be.
yeah. There's really not much that you could do different. Well, go ahead and give it browser just in case. But yeah, the difference between browser and web, or at least before, is that browser was the full interactive experience. It would run JavaScript, it would render and lay out HTML, and then it could look at the page layout. Versus web, it just fetched the contents from the web, and web is sufficient for searching for information, whereas browser is really designed for testing your application.
Okay.
But yeah, now go ahead and type search the web to find solutions to using the C# dev kit in the Cursor IDE.
Yeah. Solutions for C# get in Cursor.
Yeah, so now I expect it to come back with something that is completely contradictory to the previous conversation.
Let me search.
Yeah, so here you'll have to hit continue in order to confirm. So
Okay.
You're allowing it to use the web.
Here again, probably?
Yes. And in fact, you can check the box auto search web if you want to just automatically let it do that. Yeah. Yeah, this one is a relatively safe one to allow it to do all the time, because it's not using your profile. It doesn't have any of your cookies or logins or anything.
On installation, you said for 24 hours, your data will not be used to train the system. So you have 24 hours to change your settings. So I put it in privacy mode. Is that something that is important?
Yes, yeah, that's a really important choice. And I have made the deliberate choice to do the opposite. But yeah, the code that you're going to be working on, you want to make sure that it's just yours. Although we have
no, DWS is not a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have put DWS in a public repo. So in fact, you could switch it to turn privacy mode off. But yeah, I'm glad that they did that 24-hour window. It used to be that you just start in without privacy mode turned on, and that's the first thing they have to do before you touch anything. Because otherwise, they according to their terms and conditions, they are taking all of the the prompts and the code that goes along with those prompts and the responses that come back, and they're putting that into a new training set and continuing to train. But I have chosen to do the opposite for and so I'm careful to use my account just for my own work, not for my client work. So I deliberately chose to do the opposite because I want Janaga to be in the training set.
But you can switch back and forth
yes.
if you work for clients.
Yes, or an even better solution, which is what we're doing with Landvera, is that they have purchased a Cursor subscription, and so they're sending licenses to the people that they want to be able to use the tool, and so whenever you purchase a corporate subscription, privacy mode is on and can't even turn it off. It is just
Okay.
private for companies.
Okay, so let me search. The dev kit isn't officially supported in Cursor. Alternatives. Yeah, to do install .NET SDK.
Which you already
Use
have.
the command line to build and run and
Yep.
debug via a minimal setup. So build tasks. So you have to make a JSON file.
So at the very least, that gives you your Control Shift B build from the IDE if you want to do that. I actually just like to go down to the terminal and type .NET and build.
An alternative to watch the Cursor guide, the community discussions. If you want, you can generate the task and then tailor it to your exact needs. But so here you can just open where is the terminal here? Then I probably need just a CS file. So if I would type build here,
.NET space build. So DOTNET, one word, then space build. It's spelled out DOTNET.
I never used it via the command line.
Yeah, so you're in the folder that has the solution, so it knows, hey, I'm going to build that solution. So it does the NuGet package restore. It builds all of the projects.
Then after that, .NET run.
Let's see. So with at the solution folder, it won't know which project you want to run. Go ahead and type .NET run, and it'll give you back a message that tells you that you need to be in the project.
So here I need to go to the right. Where was it? Inside the console, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do .NET run, and then you can see -- project as mentioned in the... Or you can change directories too. You can do it that way either way.
-- project and then the...
Yeah, you could either use .NET run -- project dws.console from here, or you can change directories and just do .NET run.
Project and then the ws dot console like that.
Yes. And now it should start it up.
Yeah, and it's starting up. That's wait. So,
yeah, it's not shared, but yeah.
Yeah, and now you see it. Okay. So actually, that way, I can build. I can use the artificial intelligence, and in VS Code, I can do the debugging. In Visual Studio, I can do the debugging.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, one more command here, run .NET test. And so what that will do is find all the unit test projects in your solution. There's just the one. And then it will run all those tests.
One failed.
We have a failing test. Okay. Didn't realize we were in that state. But that's really important that the IDE is able to do that, because a lot of your work is going to be telling it what change you want, and telling it to create tests for that change. And then it'll iterate until those tests pass. It'll say, oh, it's still failing. Let me see why. Oh, it's still failing. Oh, I know exactly what the problem is. Let me fix that. Oh, it's still failing.
Okay, so in that way, it can work.
Yep. You need to provide those deterministic guardrails, so the non-deterministic AI can just bounce around inside of that space. So yeah, the compiler and the unit tests are those guardrails.
And so does the agent knows that to run the tests, he needs to use the command line?
Often it forgets to do it, but it does know that it's in a .NET project, and so therefore, yeah, it knows what commands to use.
Okay. Because that agent, how does it has access to the environment, and where are the limits? It just the API of VS Code.
It actually has access to the terminal itself, so it can run commands on your terminal. Let's go ahead and exercise that. So first of all, we want to start a brand new context. So so hit the plus sign at the top that starts a new context session, and then if you go back and you click on the terminal tab, and that basically selects. Yeah, so you see the terminal tab that's highlighted. Just go click that, and okay, so yeah, and then yeah, what I'm trying to do is to get it to put the contents of the terminal into the chat. So if you click on the terminal window, you just go down there and click on it. Yeah, there now it turns red, and you've got add to chat. So the red box shows you everything that it's about to add to the chat. And so now you can see that tab that shows you that the PowerShell output is in there.
Yeah, it's the background that's a little bit red.
Yeah.
But it's hardly visible.
Yep, that's by design. So you can just say, oh yeah, just that. And so now you can go up to your chat, and you can say, the unit tests are failing. Diagnose the tests, find a fix, and then run them again. And so now it can see the test output, and then it's going to make changes to the code, and it should immediately run the tests from its own terminal window. You'll have to approve each of the terminal commands, but yeah, you can auto approve .NET test. That one is always safe. Assuming that it doesn't put side effects inside your tests and use that as a code execution attack.
Is it so malicious?
I haven't seen it be malicious, but yeah, we're in the world of AI, and we do have to be concerned about prompt injection attacks. So if somehow into your context there gets some instructions to run a prompt injection attack, then the AI might comply and put some malicious code into one of your unit tests and then run .NET test in order to execute that code. So if you think that that's pretty rare, then you can hit always apply, always allow. So you see allow list right there, and that adds .NET test to the allow list. So now every time it wants to run .NET test, it'll just run it. But if you want to be paranoid, then you don't add that to the allow list, and instead you review the code before you let it run the tests. So now let's go ahead and hit that review button right on top of the new. So in the chat on the very bottom, it's got one file edited.
Yeah, and we'll keep all, but where's the review?
Yet. Yeah, so just above where your cursor is, it says one file edited inside of the scrolling part itself. That does the same thing, so go ahead and click that, and you can open that up. Yeah, and now you can click on New Task View Model. So these are the changes that it just made. It's deleted those lines.
Yeah.
And it deleted the yard projection client names. So actually, no, we don't want to keep this this fix. The fix was basically
Yeah.
to just remove some features.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was
That's
a bad one.
all. That's yeah.
And
So
this is why
undo
you always
all.
review.
Yeah. Undo.
Correct, yeah, I'll undo all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so now we've got two options. We could continue this session and kind of yell at the AI until it does the right thing. Or we can hit that little undo button at the very top so you can see where it says PowerShell 12 to 56. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's your original. So you go ahead and hit that undo button, and that will not only undo all, just like you already did, but that also lets you retry that whole thing. Um, so, um, so now you can give it a little bit more guidance.
Mm.
So,
For example, don't delete features.
yeah, don't delete features. Instead, add tests for them. Yep. Yeah, so making that decision about whether to continue with that context or get rid of it, that's all about are you expecting anything of value to be in that context, or is it just going to cause
Mm.
confusion? In this case, I think that it would have just caused confusion. It would have been very apologetic and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Let me revert that," and it might have been able to right itself, but still, the fact that it had deleted that code and the decision to do so, all the thinking that went into it, is still in that history. And so, if you'd have continued, it might have made that same mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. These things don't reason in quite the same way that
Mm.
humans do.
And
So
so
can't
now
quite
it is
correct it
on
that way.
auto. In kilo code, I could see which model it was using.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see that here as well, or
Yes, you
not at
can.
all?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and open up that auto window. You can still do that while it's working, and it's not going to change things. And so you can uncheck auto, and then it will show you all of the different models that are available.
So now it is using Composer.
Yeah, that's a brand new model. I haven't
Okay.
fully exercised that one yet. I mean, it's only been out for a day.
Mm.
Um, but Composer is one that Cursor themselves have trained.
Okay.
Which must have been an expensive endeavor.
Here you can add models. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it back to automatic then.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The advantage of auto is that that a certain number of automatic sessions are included in your monthly fee. So you can probably keep it on auto and use it as much as you want, and only pay the the $20 a month. And it's just that if it's struggling, if it just can't resolve something, that's when I turn auto off and I select, in the past, Claude, Claude 4.5 Sonnet. But now I'm going to try. Goodness, the other
say on
one.
auto mode.
Yeah, I'm going to try the other model. I just forgot the name of the other model. But
The new one there.
yeah, the new one.
Composer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And in fact, in Cursor 2, there's a new feature that makes doing that a lot easier. So in the past, in order to evaluate different models, I have run one, looked at the results, and then did what we just did in order to go back and undo all those results, switch to another one, run the same thing. But now, this multi-modal support or multi-model support is baked in the form of background tasks or Git workspaces. So it can run either on your machine or in the cloud 2 different models with the same prompt side by side, and then you can compare the results.
Okay.
So I'm going to start playing with that.
Now pass, all tasks are complete. I found. So what did it do?
In order to walk through the changes that it made, you can close the little auto pop up, and that will allow you to see your files list.
This one, how do I?
Yeah, just click auto again. Yeah.
And then here.
Yeah, so this time it changed the tests associated with each yard with a client so that it appears in the query. There you go. Now it figured out the problem with the test, and it added a new test. Look at that. When yards have no clients, the yard list is empty.
So it added all this.
Yeah, lonely yard 1.
Okay. That seems to be okay.
Yep, much better.
So keep.
Yep.
And keep. Now I have everything. And here, using the model. Okay. And so now if I open a terminal and I would do it again manually, everything should be okay. It's doing exactly the same now as what the model was doing.
Yes. Yep, and it's always a good idea to do exactly that. Even if you saw it run the tests, I've seen it focus on the test that's failing, run that one until it passes, but then the change that it made broke other tests, and it said, "Okay, all done, boss." So then I pop out here, run all the tests, and say, "No, you're not. Here's the new test failures."
So in the instructions, you should always say and run all tests to confirm that they are still working.
Yes, that's probably a good practice. And in fact, you can use cursor rules in order to make sure that that's always included in the instructions.
Okay.
So that's...
And these cursor rules, because I saw the cursor rules that you made, that are these documents.
Yes. Yeah, so there used to be a really useful feature that's for some reason they've taken out. I don't know what the plan is, but let's just see if for some reason it's working on yours. So go into the chat box and type / and then hit G. The letter G.
What?
Yeah, you can see that right now the only command there is summarize. Yeah, there used to be a / command called generate cursor rules, and I don't know why they removed this, but that's what I used in order to generate those rules, because the idea is that you could complete a task, and then during that task, you presumably learn something. And then if you say / generate cursor rules, it will create a cursor rule or several based on what just happened in that task. And that was just really helpful. It's like, oh, that was a difficult session. It didn't just get it right the first time. So / generate cursor rules. Okay, there's the rule that's going to help it to get it right the first time next time.
And for example, summarize, can that help?
Summarize will compact the the context. Let's go ahead and run it,
Okay.
and you can see. Yeah, so you can see chat context summarized. And so what that basically does is that tells the model, write me a brief summary of everything that's happened in this context, and then it dumps all of the context and it replaces it with that brief summary.
Mm-hmm.
And so the I'm trying to see where it is. There's an indicator somewhere on the screen that tells you how much of the context window has been used, but I'm not seeing it right now. But yeah, the models have a limited context window, and even if you're not approaching that limit, the recall of a model falls off as the amount of context grows. So yeah, there's actually a really interesting paper about this where they've measured recall using the haystack problem. So here's a whole bunch of text, and then you've got the answer to a question somewhere in that text, and then you put the question at the end. And then is it able to find the answer in the text? And if the answer is close to the beginning, it does really well. If it's close to the end, it does pretty well too. But if it's in the middle, then it does poorly. So especially as the context grows. And that's independent of context window, so how big the model allows the context to be. It's still the performance, the recall falls off as it grows.
It looks at the introduction, the summary, and that's it.
Yeah, just like humans. Yeah, we've got a built in somehow a primacy and a recency bias. So we can remember, like if you sit in in an hour-long talk, and then later on somebody asks you a question, you'll answer the question correctly if it was if that information was at the beginning of the talk, primacy, or if it was at the end of the talk, recency. But yeah, if it was somewhere in the middle, you'll have a hard time remembering it.
Okay. Stop thinking, but no summary.
Yeah, the summary is all internal. In fact, you can click on stop thinking, and it should show you the thoughts. Is that true? Oh, no, not in this case. Sometimes you see thinking tokens as it's solving a problem. You can click on the thinking, and it will actually show you all of the inner monologue going by.
Well, I think their new model has some issues. Having trouble connecting to the model provider. Okay.
Yeah, that does happen from time to time.
Where to find good information to dig deeper into this? On the website of Cursor itself?
Yeah. Cursor just released a blog post about the 2.0 release and about Composer. So that's a good place to start. And then if you want to dig deeper into advanced techniques for using LLMs, then right now the best source I've found is YouTube. If you search for spec-driven development, you'll find people who are practicing really good techniques in order to get the best results out of these things.
Spec-driven development.
Yes.
On YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. SPEC is in specification.
Good. That's what we are gonna do then.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a journey. It's gonna take some practice to figure out what's the way that works best for you. And so I've practiced with these tools for quite a bit. I've figured out a way that works best for me. And
Mm.
then when I look at people practicing spectrum development online, I'll see some of the same behaviors. Oh, we've kind of converged on that, but then I'll also see some new things, and I'll try those out. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Um, so yeah, I think we're all kind of learning together how to best use these things.
And on top of that, it's moving very fast. So what's not working today might be working tomorrow.
Yeah, that's that's very true. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and in fact, Pluralsight right now is putting together a learning path on AI-assisted software development. Um,
Okay.
so I will be participating in that learning path and doing the advanced course. So that's gonna take a little while for that to be released,
Mm.
but in the meantime, I think some of the courses leading up to earlier in the path, um, should be releasing soon.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on that as well. All right,
Good
that's the
stuff.
first step with cursor.
Yes, yes, I like it. Yeah, I think that's really gonna
Mm.
speed you up. Um, yeah, I've been using Cursor now pretty heavily on Launch Kings. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I still switch to Kilo Code when there's a really hard problem, and I'm mostly using Kilo Code on the Janaga core library. But
Mm.
yeah, when it comes uh, to um, yeah, end user application code, Cursor is doing a pretty good job for me.
Mm. Because if you switch to kilocode, can you not achieve the same result by using cursor and switching to that Claude model?
It's a little bit different in the way that it's structured, it's put together. So
Mm.
Cursor will still basically have one prompt. So anytime you type a prompt, it's going to send uh, you know, send that one context to the LLM. Uh, so it's going to kind of iterate on that context in order to execute tools and that sort of thing. So um, anytime for example, it needs to run run the tests, um, it's going to send a small prompt to the LLM saying, okay, this is the task that I'm trying to perform. These are the tools that are available. Um, you know, what do you suggest? And the LLM will say, oh, I suggest that we use the terminal tool, and we run this PowerShell script. Here it is. Um, and then Cursor will say, okay, thank you. Then it'll ask you, do you want to run this? You say yes. It runs it, gets the response. Then it turns around, goes to the LLM, says, right, here's what we're trying to do. I just ran the terminal tool because the LLM doesn't remember anything. It's completely
Mm.
stateless. Um, and then this is the output. What do you suggest? Um, and then it says, oh, looks like that was a successful test. Tell the user that everything was good. Okay, great. And then
Mm.
yeah. So it's iterating, but it's iterating all within the same session. Um, Now, with Kilo Code, you can have multiple sessions that are all interacting. So you begin a session in orchestrator mode, and then orchestrator mode would say, here's the problem we're trying to solve. Break it down for me, and the LLM will come back.
Mm.
Okay, I see this task breakdown. Do these steps. All right, gotcha. All right, LLM. Here's the step that I want to perform. Tell me, give me a prompt uh, that will help me to accomplish this task, and tell me what context
Mm.
would be necessary to accomplish the task. So it gives you that back, and then it starts a brand new session. So that
Mm.
new session is in code mode or debug mode or some of the custom modes that I've built for test-driven development. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
and so it, it loads in those custom instructions and then has just the right context to complete one task. And then it completes that. And then that produces an output, and then it puts that away, comes back to the orchestrator, says, here's the results, what's next? So so the orchestrator is able to break the problem down, have each step done in a separate context, and have those contexts focused on the kind of things that you would need to do to solve that task. And that's not something that Cursor does.
Okay. So it really splits up the problem, and then it focuses on each sub problem.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and context pollution is a real thing. I mean, the context grows, then then the results diminish. And if the context gets something in it that is, that is counter to what you're trying to accomplish, if it gets some bad data in there, then it really tanks. So by farming out to different modes like that, we're able to keep the context pollution down.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's switches to code mode and says, okay, I want to write this code, and then it fails and it fails and it fails and it fails. Oh, and then it succeeds. All of those failures are then flushed, and the only thing you've got left is the success. Versus if it was all in the one session, all those failures would still be there, and it would get polluted.
Okay. I will try with the Cursor for the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that is a really good start. And you'll start to get a feel for when do I need to start a new session. But yeah, use that plus button whenever you feel like, okay, I need to go back, or I need to try something new.
So the moment that he can forget about all the old context, you just start a new chat session.
Yep. Yep. Excellent. Yeah, good to see. I'm excited to see what you do.
And this one, is it only about coding, or can it solve other issues also, like for example ChatGPT?
Yeah, it can be used to solve other issues. The models that they have loaded in there tend to be code focused models. So Claude, for example, OpenAI, not OpenAI, Anthropic, created Claude originally with a slight focus on coding. But yeah, you'll see in that list, GPT-5 is just there in that list. And GPT-5, I don't think they mean GPT-5 codex. Otherwise, they would have said GPT-5 codex, but that's GPT-5. Codex is one that OpenAI specifically trained for.
Codex is there, and GPT-5 is there as well.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to, for example, write end user documentation, you can still have it do that, and you probably don't need to switch out of auto mode, but it'll probably automatically select GPT-5 to do more of those language focused tasks. But yeah, if you find that you're getting better results writing prose with GPT-5, you can switch to that. But that's So I've used this tool to write user stories, to write documentation in the form of README, certainly to write specifications, and so it's code adjacent. It's working on the code. But then you can also, if you give it that browser as in its context, you could also have it do research. So similar to what we just did with looking for how to solve the C# dev kit problem. But yeah, you could tell it to do research on anything. It doesn't have to be a code thing. So yeah, have it have it find hotels for for your next road trip. You
Mm,
know, I didn't do that for this upcoming road trip, but maybe I should. I'll give that a try.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it's what's really cool is this. So yeah, from Cursor now I'm talking about the Kilo code again. Kilo code is already set up to do agentic programming because each Kilo mode is an agent. It's got custom instructions. It's got some tools that are available, um, and they can interact. The orchestrator can talk to other modes. So so yeah, if you want to build an agentic system yourself, may as well just mock it up in Kilo code and see if it see if you can get some agents that'll solve an interesting problem. And then once you've got it, you can then use the AI to say, hey, I've created this set of agents. Let's go ahead and write some Python and ship that off to a server and run those agents.
Okay. Well, it's going to be powerful environment, and that's going to help me
Yep.
once I get used to it.
Yep, I think so. I think you will be unstoppable.
Yeah, because if already I see the Chat GPT, just the free version, when you need to search for something, how fast it comes up with answers which
Mm-hmm.
would take hours to find on Google, um, then it's really an improvement.
Yeah.
Although I have
Well,
the
cool.
impression that Google is improving as well, huh?
Oh yes, yeah, they're in the race as well.
Um,
Gemini is um, it's been toward the back of the pack for a while. They're yeah they're pushing. Uh, so yeah, so they've got their own model Gemini, but then they also have the browser integration.
mm,
So they've had Gemini in Chrome. Uh, well, first of all, they had Gemini in Google Search, but then they added Gemini to Chrome um, so that you could access the model even before you do a search. You can just use Gemini right there. And other vendors are doing the same thing. OpenAI just released uh, their browser. Um, forget when that one was called, um, yeah, I think Perplexity has a browser as well now, and so yeah, the vendors are putting the AI uh, kind of to be the first thing that the user interacts with, not go to ChatGPT and do a thing, go to Perplexity and do a thing, go to Google and search and do a thing, um, and that gives the AI more information about you as a user and even more access. So the the connection. So if you search on Google, then the connection is going to uh, to Gemini is going to happen from the Google server. But more importantly, the tools that it calls to do searches are happening from
mm,
Google server. So that means it doesn't have your tokens, your cookies. It doesn't act as you. But once it's in the browser, it has all those things. So now you can use an LLM to go to a site that you have to log in order to see the content. You can have it do stuff against that site. Um, so that's that should be used with caution. It's something that we've had available through Cursor's browser, through the Playwright MCP server. We'll go through MCP servers in another session. That's pretty cool. But now we're putting this in the hands of regular people. Uh, yeah, this has to be used with caution.
mm.
Yeah, now Google has a cookie that can be used to log into Microsoft Azure, for example. It's like, yeah, okay, Gemini, help me to deploy these resources. Okay, click, click, click. Maybe, maybe not do that.
Yeah, yeah. If it becomes too powerful, it might mess up things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've already seen it. Delete code
Mhm.
in order to make a test pass. It's like, oh, I can fix
Mhm.
your Azure resources. Let me just delete this database. No.
That's not what we wanted to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Let me delete these DNS servers and see if front door continues to work. Maybe that's what happened.
Um, Reminds me about the customer this week. I told him there's something going strange with your internal systems. Um, some DNS is not working.
Mm-hmm.
They go and look, and nothing of all the DNS was gone.
Yep.
They forgot to pay their invoice to the provider.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's always DNS.
Mm,
That was
mm,
the core of the AWS outage. That was the core of the Azure outage. It's
mm.
always DNS.
Good.
All right.
So
Excellent
you will be
progress.
on a road trip next week.
Yes. Yeah. So for the next 2 weeks, I'll be on the road trip. So the Azure or the Pluralsight Author Summit is uh,
Mm.
coming up in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll be. Uh, I should actually be finishing up the Author Summit and on my way back next Thursday. But um, or Thursday after. But yeah, next Thursday I'll be on my way there. Um,
So the 6th of November and the 13th of November.
yep.
Yeah. And I will be leaving the 7th, and I will be back the 23rd of November. So it's just one shift. There is a little bit overlap. So I guess you will be back the 20th, but
Yes.
I will not be there 20th. I will be back the 27th.
Okay.
And by that time you will be in winter
Yes.
time, I guess.
Yes. Definitely.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to try to put some content up for the next 2 weeks. We'll see if I'm
Mm.
able to squeeze that in before leaving. Um, and yeah, code launch is also in that period too. I'll be gone during code launch. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I'll put some stuff up, and then we will talk when you get back in
Okay.
in 4 weeks' time.
Well, the cursor is not going to be my friend, but he might help me.
Yeah.
It might help me.
Yes. Yep. It is a thing, not a person. It doesn't think like a
Mm.
person.
Let's see how far we get this thing working. Okay. And then
Thank you so much.
we see each other in 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Indeed.
Michael. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Have
Sam.
a nice road trip, and see you soon then.
Indeed. Yeah. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.